Hi, I'm James Bruce, and today on Make Use of Reviews, we're taking a look at the GeChic, I think that's how you pronounce it, OnLap 1503i portable multi-touch monitor, which retails for $400. But what exactly is it? Well, for a start, obviously it's a monitor, a 15.3-inch monitor with IPS display to be exact. It looks fantastic and it's full HD. So far so good. Secondly, it's a touchscreen. Now there's no computing power behind the device, it's really just a monitor, it's not like a tablet. However, if you connect it to a Windows computer or even to the latest Raspbian Linux on a Raspberry Pi, it will work out of the box, provide you with a multi-touch interface for interacting with the machine. Thirdly, unlike most monitors which require a 110 or 220 volt AC connection, this can actually run off of USB power. In fact, with all the computers I've tested so far, it just needed a single USB port from which to power the entire monitor, as well as send data back to the computer over that USB port. And that does of course also mean that you can use a battery pack like this one, just a standard USB port from a battery pack to power the monitor itself. Now in the base package, you're going to get the monitor, obviously, a tough plastic case that goes over the face, an AC adapter just in case your source cannot provide enough power or if it doesn't have a USB port, as well as a USB extension cable for plugging into the charger, a USB-C power cable which terminates in two USB-A connectors, and a HDMI to proprietary GeChic plug. Now it does also have another proprietary socket on the side here for use with a VGA cable. However, you'll need to purchase that VGA cable separately. It's not included in the base package. The hardware itself is very sleek and solid, nothing really revolutionary there. It does, however, have a neat magnetic kickstand around the rear, which can be locked into a couple of different positions and is fully rubberized for that non-slip quality. A set of menu buttons can be found on the side, along with the breakout ports, and around the back of the device you'll find another proprietary docking connector. More on that later. My only complaint from a design perspective with the monitor itself, that the ports on the side, obviously if you have a cable protruding from the side here, it's liable to get knocked and possibly damage the port. With that in mind, I would at the very least suggest buying the dock adapter cable, which breaks out the port at the back into the standard USB-A and HDMI cables, and use that in preference to the ones on the side. However, that is an added cost to bear in mind. Out of the box, it just works. Plug in a single USB cable and it just worked. Gave me touchscreen functionality and automatically output the display. Fantastic. It also worked out of the box for Raspbian GeChic with Pixel desktop included. So if you do want a ginormous 15-inch touchscreen for your Raspberry Pi, this will do the job. So right away, if you've been wanting a sort of Microsoft Surface-like experience for your Windows computer, this is absolutely going to give that to you. If you have drawing skills, then you can also use a stylus. Just any standard capacitive stylus will work. Unfortunately, it doesn't support Mac OS X, by which I mean, of course, it'll accept any generic HDMI input so you can mirror your screen or extend onto it, but it won't support touch input into the system. Now, it's not quite designed for drawing. It's not exactly the same as a Wacom Cintiq, for example. However, if you get just one of these cheapy capacitive pens off of Amazon, you'll find it functions pretty well. That is, if you have some drawing skills, which I don't. Now, one of the suggested uses is pairing it with an Intel compute stick, one of the miniature little computers that fits in the size of an HDMI dongle, essentially. And to do that, you'll want to buy the additional docking connector. Alternatively, you can use the docking connector to attach a battery pack. It comes with a couple of stick-on metal plates so you can attach them to your pack, and then they magnetically attach to the docking port. Unfortunately, the only battery pack I could test with was vastly overweight. The recommended maximum is 350 grams. so mine just couldn't stay on. I also found that there was insufficient power from the battery pack to provide both power to, say, a Raspberry Pi and the monitor. You could have either or, but not both. However, if you have a battery pack with 2 USB power ports that can be used at the same time, then it's absolutely feasible that you could turn this into a ginormous portable Raspberry Pi computing device. That said, I hope in future designs of the product they'll consider making the rear docking connector, or at least full-size port, somewhere a part of the core design. Possibly even ruggedize it a bit and include a built-in battery. Because attaching your battery around the back with a magnetic plate, it really gets a bit sort of awkward. Then again, it's nice to have options. You can turn it into whatever you want, basically. So should you buy the GeChic OnLap 1503i? Well, it's obviously going to be of limited appeal. $400 might sound like a lot, but actually it's quite comparable to some other large touchscreen kiosk type surfaces that are available. You can certainly find cheaper devices that only have resistive touchscreens. Those are the ones that don't work very well and you can't touch multiple points. You can also find much smaller screens that would work with, say, a Raspberry Pi. A 5-inch screen you could get for around under $50. And at a much higher price point, of course, you have a Wacom Cintiq, or those kind of pen digitizers for professional drawing applications. So I think this device pretty much fills a mid-range point in the market. However, if you have a very specific single use case that you want a touchscreen for, you may of course be better served by a tablet. You can likely get one cheaper and then use a ready-made or custom app for whatever your purpose is. For general computing devices, however, this is definitely a winner. The sheer lack of device setup required with no driver installs needed was really quite refreshing, but the lack of Mac OS X support is kind of annoying. I did have a lot of fun plugging this into my main gaming machine and then playing Civilization 6 on a large multi-touch surface, which you typically wouldn't be able to do given the lack of computing power in tablets. So anyway, if this sounds like something that you might want, either head on over to GeChic's website to buy one, or click the link in the description where you can enter to win one at MakeUseOf.com. Type in the code GeChic, shown on screen now, one word, for bonus entries in our competition. Thank you for watching, and please hit like and subscribe if you'd like to be notified of all our twice weekly giveaways and technology tutorials from all of us at MakeUseOf.com.